Oh, hello everybody, it's Demondantei here with Console Watch, and what I want to do is I'm bringing you something I've been meaning to bring for a while, and that is a Moira guide. Moira is my main. I do play Moira at a high level. Unfortunately, rank doesn't matter, so my rank is very low, but I can assure you that I do play her well, I know how to play her, and I'm tired of seeing people out there not playing her right. So what I did here is I reset my Moira settings to the default, and we're going to go in and I'm going to show you like a good setup, at least in my opinion, for Moira. So we're going to go into our options here, and we're going to change a few things. Now, as you can see, our horizontal sensitivity and vertical sensitivity are still set to default. Need to bring up her options, or oh, my controller died. Hold on. Let me just fix this real quick. There we go. Alright, so got the control set. Alright. Controller's working again. Anyway. So, our sensitivities down low. Some people like to have really high sensitivities. I don't think a high sensitivity really helps you for tracking in this game, in my opinion, but that's me. I have mine set to kind of lowish on most characters, but I got mine set to about 50 on both. I recommend having your sensitivity set to the same on both vertical and horizontal, so that way your muscle memory gets it right. I think that a lower sensitivity, you don't need 100% sensitivity, but for characters that require tracking, a lower sensitivity is sometimes better, at least in my opinion. Some people are like, how can you move and hit things quickly? And like, well, I just can. Some people switch from the dual zone to the linear plane or the exponential plane, and that kind of increases the speed a little bit for your movement. But when it comes to tracking, you don't want your cursor going all over the place, so you don't need high sensitivity. Anyway, so let's get in here. Let's go back to the Moira. One thing I highly recommend is the aim assist window. Make that, like, in some cases, as small as possible. The aim assist window is how far out on the enemy the aim assist kicks in. You can keep on having the aim assist as high as you want, but the window makes it to where the area that the window kicks, that the aim assist kicks in on the enemy, is much smaller. So that way, when you have enemies running in front of you and stuff, sometimes the aim assist will pick up on an enemy when the strength's too high and the window's too high, when you don't want to. Like, you see, you're fighting a tracer, but a Winston or somebody jumps in the way, or the opposite, and it'll move your cursor out of the way to that enemy that ran in front of you. But if the window is much smaller, then it's easier to control that jumpiness of it. So we'll go up here and I can show you how when we move across, you can see the aim assist picking up on it, but with the window much smaller, it's going to pick up on it closer to the enemy instead of, a good foot away from him. It'll be right there on the outside zone. That's really good for enemies that have like if you're trying to track a Pharah or a Mercy in the air, you can be able to get to them. Like, let's say you're playing McCree or Soldier or some other sort of hit scan character. There we can see, put it back up to where it was at 40. The aim assist kicks in a little further out of the bots, as you can see there when I move it from side to side. I'm going to even kick this. Let's go back in here and we'll kick it up to 100, which sometimes, if I remember right, some of the characters have 100 aim assist window, and you just don't need that high. It's even worse. It's worse the further away from an enemy you are. The closer you are, the smaller the window gets. But if you're far away, then the window's going to be gargantuan. If you want it as small, whether you're far away or close. So that way your tracking stays on to the body, not the window. You want it on the body. You want to be aiming for the head. Let's get this set back down to 8. The other stuff isn't really necessary. Again, the aim technique, dual zone. Some people switch from dual zone to exponential plane or linear plane. I don't. The reticle for Moira is not as big a deal. Some people have it set up to where, I mean, like the accuracy is pointless, but some people have it set up to where the reticle is picking up where her beam connects, which it always connects on the center of the body on an enemy, like on their chest. I mean, she can't get a headshot, so it doesn't really matter. I think I was using the Crosshair one, where see what it looks at a circle, try to get that center gap down to find that point. But I've never had it set up. I just follow their body with the center circle, and if I'm keeping the dot in the middle on their body, then I basically got it. I mean, it's not. She's not like Symmetra where we'll follow them around corners. It's very sensitive to the amount of space that's on there. So let's see if I can get this set back to my old cross. Not every button but the right one. No, options. Thank you. All right, let's go back for a mouse. Get the crosshair set back to how we normally do, so that way I don't screw this up later. Alright, I don't use circles. Here we go. Crosshair. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think that's how it looked. Let's check again later, find out. Anyway, you see that it's not very wide off the body where it picks up. She's more about the range that she's picking up at that freaking 5 meters or 10 meters. Alright, back to her again. Quick modes. So I always have crouch. Always have allied health bars on. I have crouch and jump on my R3 and L3 again, so that way I can click them. Some people have them set up to their L1 and R1, but that's where I find that most comfortable the abilities are. But the first thing I always do for her is I switch her primary and secondary. So her primary fire is her heal, and her secondary is her damage. But I like to have the damage on R2, because it's her right hand. Her damage is coming out of her right hand. When I'm seeing the screen, it kind of bugs me out to see the heals and stuff, so that makes me where I can switch between them quicker, because that's an important thing to be able to do with Moira, is switching between heals and damage very quickly, and making sure you're actually doing the right thing. You're not wasting heals when you don't need to be wasting heals. Moira and heals is a commodity, so you always want to make sure you're only healing when you need to. Another thing I do is I switch her fade and her orbs, just because I like having the orbs on R1 and fade on L1. It just feels more comfortable that way to me, to have them, it's where I can just quickly L1 fade, R1 is my orbs. Just how I do it. And you can see I can tap crouch easier just fine with my thumbsticks. The other thing is I do have a SCUF controller, so that means I do have 2 extra paddles on the back of it. So all of my characters, I have it set up to a circle, which is my basically back right one is my ultimate, and the back left one is melee, so that way I can melee quickly, because melee quickly is an important thing to do on any character. It doesn't matter who it is, always try to melee when you can. So that's the setup for I'm gonna show you in a game in competitive with me on Moira on attack, on Nubani. So as you can see, with the group setup, I'm going to be solo healing. For the most part, I feel perfectly comfortable solo healing on Moira as long as everyone sticks together. Moira right now is the most powerful healer. She has the highest heal output for any character, even over Mercy. So, right now I'm just checking to see who plays what. As you can see, I'm the only healer main. One person's got 5 hours on Moira, but they're the diva, which is fine. I can, as I tell them, I can solo heal as long as everyone's sticking together. Anyone can solo heal on Moira as long as you're using her right. As I said earlier, her heals are a total commodity, so you can't just be throwing out your healing beam whenever you want. You have to make sure you're holding on to it. Otherwise, when you need to heal, when it's critical to heal, you're not going to be able to heal. And for Moira to need to heal is a very critical thing to do, especially for solo healing. Mercy, Mercy, Zen, Lucio, and Ana. The only time Ana can't heal is when there's a barrier between them or she's reloading. I always stay at the back of the pack. Moira is not a DPS. I don't care what. She's not a flanking DPS. She's not a DPS. The only time you should be using your attack, your lifesteal, and your damage orb, like there, is when there's nobody taking damage. Moira is a main healer. The only time that you should be using that is when no one's taking damage. So always keep your healing orb available for when people need heals. Don't just throw around your orbs all willy-nilly, because it's an important thing to have. It not only will keep you alive in situations, but it's going to keep your group alive. Right here, it falls apart because the Reinhardt and one other person went on the bottom where we went on the top, so we got split up. I tried to go over there to save the Reinhardt. It was a terrible decision. As you can see, I'm already at 50% for ultimate. Again, the Reinhardt's down there. Basically, I always try to follow you, Reinhardt, but we're down. All that's on there is the Reinhardt and the Tracer, but I jump in to try to keep them alive to make it a 3 versus 5. But this Widow's going to pop off so many times, it's going to be ridiculous before this is over. We had a very slow start. I mean, we just kept on trickling in. As you can see, now it's just Diva on the point. We got Soldier, and the Soldier decided to stay back because we need to group up. Hans is running off, but we're going to group up right here at this bus. But then Soldier runs off. You're going to tell everyone to group up, but then you're just going to run off and try to get some poke damage. But that's fine. An important thing to do is, of course, always watch your kill feed. If you just lost the fight, if you're 3v6ing, don't just go in there. Get out of there. Die. Don't give them ult charge. And you see, I threw in a damage orb. It did a bit of damage, just some tickle damage. And right here, I'm standing behind everyone. I'm standing behind the Reinhardt. I'm standing behind all my tanks. I'm just healing like a madman, but I'm only tapping the heals. She has a heal over time. You don't need to sit there and spray them. It's not going to do anything. You drop the healing orb. I did my ultimate, try to keep the Reinhardt alive, but he was gone, and then again, the Widow popped me off. The most important thing, Moira can be so strong, especially in tank heavy comps, if you're just staying behind everyone. We ended up winning. They're winning without a healer, which is just fine. The Reinhardt's staying alive. The Hanzo just popped off, taking out everyone. I threw out my healing orb to try to just top them off, and boom. The healing orb just takes care of the whole group. If everyone's together, your healing orb can keep basically everyone alive. It's got 300 heals in it. So as long as everyone gets a bit of that, it's usually going to be okay, because they're probably going to kill everyone before anything happens. When Brigitte comes into competitive, this really congested comp is going to be ridiculous. And see, I'm only using my damage right now because I know I can take this Mercy. I can handle the Mercy, throw out an orb to try to finish her off. She's been getting away from me, but I need to, I make sure it heals up. The Winston is distracted with me because I'm trying to kill the Mercy. There's a healing orb to keep the Reinhardt alive. He ults because, well, we've been kicking their ass, right? Everyone died. The entire team just died, except for the Winston and the Soldier. So Winston's trying to run away. I'm going to throw a damage orb up there. It's going to take out the Soldier, and boom. That is the purpose of the damage orb, is just to finish, to take that finishing blow. The damage orb does not have a lot of damage in it. Most of the time, when you throw out a damage orb, all you're doing is giving the healers on the enemy team ultimate. You can use it as a way to build yourself up a little bit ultimate, but the healing orb is going to give you ultimate so much faster. Right here, I'm holding on to my orb. I haven't touched it, because if he was going to try to hammer down, drop the heal orb out. Another thing is always try to make sure you throw it in a direction that it's not going to just, be pointless. With ultimate, of course, her ultimate is actually good, really good at healing, especially if everyone's staying in front. Like if everyone's in front of you and then the enemy's on the other side of them, then you're healing your team at the same time doing damage to the enemy. So for the most part, it's going to clear them out. And see, I just tossed that because I knew it's going to reflect off there. It just healed up the Hanzo. It's healing up the runner. Everyone's back to full health. And all I did is just randomly throw out a healing orb in the direction they're at. I didn't throw a damage orb hoping it would kill somebody. No, I threw out a healing orb to make sure my team was alive. Frankly, Moira is probably one of the few healers that can fully solo heal. Because she can heal everyone at once, but again, it requires everyone to stick together like they are right now. They're all in a bubble. Moira can just heal everyone around her. Now, see, they're trying to single me out so hard because they know I'm just gonna keep everyone alive. And that's basically it. I mean, you see how fast I'm gaining ultimate right here. I've gained almost 30% ultimate without even doing any damage to anyone. So that's just a little clip of how I think Moira should be played. Take it as you will. But anyway, if you like the video, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. Come back for more. I'm going to try to do a Brigitte one here soon before she goes competitive. But anyway, take care. Have a good day, and see you on the next one.